You get up from the couch to grab a glass of water, walk down the hall, and stop dead in your tracks at the edge of the kitchen. Your mind goes completely blank. You look around the room, staring at the fridge and the sink, asking yourself a single, frustrating question. Why am I in here? Most people interpret this sudden mental drop-off as a sign of cognitive decline. They blame a lack of sleep, the aging process, or assume their smartphone has finally destroyed their attention span. But the truth is much stranger. This momentary blackout is an incredibly precise neurological response known as the doorway effect. Drawing a blank when you cross a threshold means your brain is executing a ruthless data optimization protocol. It is working exactly as designed. Researchers at the University of Notre Dame, led by Professor Gabriel Radvansky, have extensively mapped this phenomenon through event segmentation theory. Their work reveals that human beings do not process experiences as one continuous, unbroken timeline. Instead, we perceive life in distinct scenes. This animated floor plan shows the mechanics. Your brain binds intentions, like fetching water, to the environment where the idea originated. Stepping through a doorway forces a hard spatial shift. The brain logs that threshold as an event boundary. To optimize processing capacity for the next room, the brain closes out the previous scene. The Get Water command gets filed in the living room's folder. Reaching the kitchen, that file is temporarily inaccessible. Your brain intentionally dumps its short-term memory cache. It frees up maximum cognitive bandwidth to process the unknown variables of a completely new environment. To understand this wiring, we have to look to our deep past. That kitchen doorway is simply a modern proxy for ancient survival boundaries. Imagine an early human moving from the absolute known safety of a cave into a dense, unpredictable wilderness filled with predators. In that environment, carrying over the mundane details of the cave, like where you left a specific rock, takes up precious mental energy. If you are distracted by past information, you miss the movement in the bushes right in front of you. That lapse in attention is fatal. Evolution hardwired human cognition to treat a spatial transition as an entry into a different context. The brain wipes the slate clean to hyper-focus on immediate present-tense variables. The doorway effect is a self-defense reflex thousands of years in the making. Forgetting why you walked into the kitchen is the exact mechanism that kept your ancestors alive. We know this programming runs incredibly deep because it triggers even when physical danger is absent. Test subjects crossing simulated thresholds in video games and virtual reality experience the same memory drop-off. This digital evidence proves human cognition is strictly bound by spatial architecture. The brain reacts to the concept of a boundary independently of physical reality. This heavily suggests that our sense of a single, continuous consciousness might be more of a construction than we realize. Because our memory is so closely tied to our location, our sense of self appears to function through a series of mental partitions. In this view, the doorway acts as a momentary gap. It is a split second where the version of you who wanted water is replaced by the version currently scanning the kitchen. So what is the protocol for those moments when you find yourself standing blankly next to your refrigerator? First, do not stand there trying to force the memory back. Staring at the kitchen counter will not help you retrieve data stored in the living room. Instead, physically walk backward through the doorway. Return to the exact room where you first had the idea. Because physical space acts as the ultimate anchor for memory, returning to the origin point signals your brain to reopen that specific event folder. It restores the contextual integrity of the moment, bringing your original intention back to the surface. The next time you cross a room and lose your train of thought, don't panic. Thank your inner caveman for optimizing your survival. Step back across the threshold and let your brain retrieve the memory.